Hey guys, Jonathan here. I just wanted to address something about this podcast real quick. Within this podcast, we talk about a rumor about Nexo Knights being canceled. Obviously, at that time, we had reason to believe, both from sources that we cite in the podcast and sources that we don't, that the rumor had some validity to it. Since then, after the podcast is recorded, we have found the information that basically invalidates this rumor. This rumor is no longer happening. And I think a lot of the sources that we mentioned on in the podcast have gone on to rescind or retract that information the same way that we're now doing. The reason that this episode was delayed was a multitude of reasons, including like video issues and the editing stuff. But one of the reasons we also delayed it is because since we found this, we weren't really too sure about the rumor. And once we found it, we wanted to see if we could cut it out from the podcast entirely. And there's a lot of content in this podcast that made it impossible for us to do so. So you can still enjoy the podcast. We do record a discussion about the flaws of Nexo Knights from the lens of it being canceled, but I feel like it still has relevance. But I want to get ahead of this right now and kind of inform you guys, hey, this is not a thing that's happening. Nexo Knights is not canceled, and the rumor is confirmed to be fake. All right, please enjoy the podcast, and we'll see you later. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
sync.
Hello and welcome everybody to the BrickFeed podcast. I'm Jonathan Juan.
I'm Meso Neck.
I'm Eljay Johnson.
I'm Ven.
And I'm Prpl.
No!
See, I even tried this time, Meso, because I remember last time, but...
I'm Jonathan Vaughn and
welcome,
Mardi Gras.
The BrickFeed, episode 50. The grand 50th episode. Even though, I mean, like, we've been doing this for a good while. Really, I feel like the 52nd episode is also kind of a big milestone because it officially marks one whole year doing this.
Woo.
Can I make a request?
No,
you can't make a request.
Can we make this episode better than our 50th episode of TTV?
We already are doing that
That's
right
gonna
now.
Be very subjective.
Just listen to our audio quality. It's already way better than our TTV 50th episode.
Yeah, the TTV 50th, for those who don't know, is a live stream event, and it had a grand total of 3 people show up. So that's kind of...
Do you remember this?
Cite one of those people from our live studio audience.
One of those people was Yawk, one of our most dedicated fans.
Yawk.
He has been around since our beginning, and he's still around now. He just recently said that Art Farts was one of the best things we've put out recently.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I remember this
high
dude
praise,
well.
Prpl.
Yeah, Yawk. Yeah, he's a good guy. Let's make this show fun. We got already more than 3 people in the chat. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're not live streaming this, so
No, we're not.
yeah.
But I mean, like, the live studio audience.
Yeah,
We
if
do
you're
have
in
a
the
live studio
then
audience.
it's live.
More
Thanks to all
importantly,
our patrons at patreon.com/TTV channel for donating and joining our live studio audience. It really helps us out. Actually, right now, you can see the chat on the video. Hopefully, everything works out. We're totally seeing this. So.
Yes.
more importantly
go.
than having more than 3 people in the audience, we have more than 3 people here to record this episode.
Also
Prpl,
true.
Ven.
That's true.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I wasn't going to shame anybody, but...
Well, I mean, listen, you can take it as shame or take it as praise.
Thank you guys for finally joining us.
Well, thank you for having it at a time where actually normally I still wouldn't be able to be here.
yeah, this is kind of an odd time. We're recording it a little later than we normally do.
I'm normally
A lot
never
later.
here because you guys always do this while I'm at work.
Right.
So rip.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was a pretty big scheduling thing that happened this week. Ironically, for our 50th, it was like the one time where everything just kind of went south of
50
schedule.
problems.
Everything just kind of imploded.
Shaking my head.
Speaking of work,
I don't
Go
want
for
to
it.
talk
actually,
about work.
now that I think about it, I don't really mention my job on the podcast too much. do
No, I don't think you really have.
Okay, so for those who don't know, I work at GameStop. And so the reason why I bring this up is because recently Lego City Undercover came out for the other next-gen consoles, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation. Whoever pre-ordered got a little bonus, Lego City helicopter thing that you would get if you ordered online from the Lego shop, what like a month ago? Yeah, that same exact little poly bag we would give to people who pre-ordered. So we have a bunch left over at my store because not that many people pre-ordered Lego City Undercover.
Mwah, mwah.
Surprise.
You took them all, didn't you?
So I took some.
Yep, there it is.
We should have a giveaway or something.
How many did you take?
Do you have one to give away?
I guess I could.
Wait,
I would have to grab more
See,
to
Ven,
do.
Before you give away something, could you hook a brother up? Could you like?
I'm sure you really
Do you
need that
see
Lego
this, Ven?
City helicopter.
I only
I'm just
took
saying.
2, and I did not steal them. Let me make that clear. They knew I was taking it. Everybody,
Right.
everybody I work with knows what I do.
I was gonna
In my
accuse
spare
you
time.
of Grand Theft
I just
Helicopter.
had-
Can I turn
just
into
had, like-
Takuma for like a moment after
Okay.
what Prpl says?
Oh. I just had like this mental image of like, you know how when a cat will like knock over a glass, it'll just like stare you in the eye and whack it over? Well, I just picture
that
like
was
Ven,
me.
like
I saw all the little poly bags hidden underneath one of the registers, looked my manager in the eye, looked back at the poly bags, looked back at him, and said, "I'm gonna take one." He's like, "Don't
And then you
take too."
took 2.
He was like, "Don't take too many. Just take. If you're gonna take any, just take one because we want to incentivize our employees." That was like a week ago, so I took another one with my assistant manager's permission. So now what I'm gonna do is I already have the poly bag built because I got the little bonus from making an order a month ago. So now I have 2 of these just bagged up, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spend this whole episode combining them into some weird amalgamation. I don't know what I'm gonna make. Maybe it'll be a giant super.
You mean the
chopper.
helicopter Kaida?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna combine
Post
them.
a picture of your model by the end of the podcast.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
We'll post it in the video.
Will
Eljay, you said
do.
you were turning into Takuma. Please don't.
Yes. No, it's just as soon as I heard Kahi going, "Hey, let's do a giveaway," and then it's like, "Hey, can I have one?" I just imagine Takuma coming in here like, "Can you believe this? This is a hand me out, a freebie generation where nobody does any work anymore, and everyone just wants their stinking handout. Like back in my day, we had to climb up the mountain to go to college, fight off bears and cabin people and fever." It's like,
What are you?
Cabin people and fever. Both things that plagued our ancestors. Apparently.
I don't know.
That's just
Poor
that's,
Takuma.
that's how I imagine like Takuma
It's like,
reacting.
George Washington, how you doing? Oh, not good, man. The cabin people came down and scared Martha half to death.
Why did you
Martha,
say that name?
why'd you say that name?
Has Takuma ever been in an episode of BrickFeed?
I think he has.
Feel like
I'm pretty sure he has been.
I don't
Well-
think he was happy, but he's never really happy.
No.
Yeah, no.
I mean, when you're
Happiness
old, you just
isn't
kind of have to
aware
take
where
it as
he
you go.
comes from.
You're right. It's not in his native language of old people.
Yeah, exactly. The guy is like he's
right.
super old.
I'm looking at this helicopter right now. It's a interesting little build.
It's okay.
Did it come like? It's like. It's not bad to the. I can't imagine anyone pre-ordering just to get that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's a bonus. Obviously, that's not like.
Right.
Yeah.
It is cool how Lego games offer like actual tangible Lego products and minifigures when you
Yeah,
pre-order them
like sometimes you get minifigures. Like one time, I almost had the chance to get one of the Green Arrow minifigures, but I think my
I got one of
manager
those.
took the last one.
Drats.
So rip that.
That's one of the cool things about Lego games. They're able to actually, because when you pre-order something, I always said like the main incentives of pre-ordering tend to be like if there's anything physical, that's like okay, well that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like that's actually something of substance rather than like an in-game weapon or whatever, or like some stupid exclusivity thing. So a little Lego set for like a Lego game or a minifigure, that's actually pretty good incentive in my book because it appeals to the collector's nature. If you know what I mean. Like, it actually gives you a tangible reason to pre-order something.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about again?
The set's cool. It's cool.
Good job,
how-
Meso.
No, I was actually gonna say, what was that? You're talking about the GhostBusters ideas thing? Is that what you're talking about?
What?
What?
No.
Cough.
No.
Oh, then let's get started!
Well, no,
What?
'cause I
Well,
want to talk
guess
about some
we're-
things I bought.
Yeah.
50th
No, screw
episode,
you.
and we're talking about the sets we
Vin,
bought, right?
Vin, you are a trooper. Yeah, well, do what you buy.
Okay. So I got 3 sets recently. This is not counting the 5 Bricklink orders I made like a day or 2 ago.
You're a crazy person.
Listen, I'm making everybody a sig figs. for fun.
Yay!
And because like I can imagine
Cool.
that I still have friends in person and like walk them around, talk to them. But anyway, I went to Walmart. I bought 3 things. Bought this. It's a creator set, Air Show Aces. Not for me, my younger brother. I then went ahead and bought this, Mighty Dinosaurs from Creator. Also not for me, gift for the rest of the family. And I did buy this, Fun in the Park City People Pack, and this was for me.
Yeah, you got the dinosaur.
I recall us talking about the Fun in the Park pack extensively on our Toy Fair coverage. How does it actually hold up?
Oh, it's outstanding. The great thing about it is that
it
it's
really?
quite literally a minifigure pack. The intention of this is not to be a full-fledged set that you have to adhere to the instructions verbatim. They advertise it in the instructions and on the box. You can interchange all of these pieces. They encourage it highly. And all of it's great. If you really want some people to inhabit your world, maybe you have a Lego city, like Prpl, you can just put them in there. It's fantastic. This is also the first set to feature a Lego wheelchair.
Yes, the Lego wheelchair, and which is the first set, but also it has the cool Lego baby and stroller.
Yeah.
Too. There's a lot of cool things.
The
in
first
this.
set with the Lego baby.
It's
The
whatever.
Lego wheelchair is the most noticeable thing.
Legitimately, though, the minifigure that sits in the wheelchair is my favorite. Not because of its value, but because it's the only
But because it's in a wheelchair.
No. Because the guy wears normal clothes. Like, I bought this pack hoping that I could get something to make you guys, but none of you guys wear any of the clothes, except for that guy. He has just a sweater and a plain red shirt, and even like a beanie. Nobody else wears anything here. Like, do you guys wear suspenders or overalls? That's it.
What about the dude in like the red
Suspenders and
checkered
overalls.
shirt?
I mean, that's mine, but it's too bright for me, and I already have one. So it's like... But outside of that, it's a great set. I highly encourage anyone that can to pick it up. I got it at a discount, and I think it's well worth that.
Well, there you go. I like how they do sets like this. It's a break from the norm.
It's fantastic, and we've been talking a lot on the TTV podcast about our hypothetical Bionicle Generation 3, and minifigure packs have kind of been a focus, and if you want to hear more about that discussion, head on over there. But,
They could totally, sets exist in this modern day climate that are mainly just minifigures, and that's cool.
Yeah,
to
and
me.
they're coming out with a new one.
I mean, people love
this-
minifigures.
They're
They're iconic. They're,
My favorite are
they're
the ones
easy
with
to
short
customize.
legs.
They're decently posable until you give them smaller legs.
Right,
Are
exactly.
you kidding me? They're fun-sized.
Yeah, the baby's super fun sized. Great
Yeah, in
posability
fact,
on the
you
Lego
throw
baby.
that in your mouth, chew it up. Nutritious.
What?
Let's not get hasty here.
Yeah, let's hold off on the baby
Just
eating
kidding,
real
guys.
quick.
Don't eat the pieces. Only children.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Okay.
Anybody else buy
Well,
anything?
I'm actually really thinking about getting the Fun in the Park
Do it.
City People
They're
pack.
coming out with another one this year.
Really?
Like Fun at the Beach.
Huh.
Oh, wait. I actually might get that one. What's
I think
yeah,
that
I'll-
was
do
what
we
we
have a
talked
photo
about
of
at
that yet?
Toy Fair.
I'll post a link to it. It might
Now that
already
I
be out. I don't
recall.
know.
Okay, I know we talked about one of them extensively for Toy Fair, and yep, now that I think
I
back
can't
on
believe
it,
it. I was right. I was
it
joking
fun
with
at
the name.
beach. Yep, fun at the beach. And the problem with that, again, is like a lot of it is, beach minifigures with
Yeah,
limited
like-
applicability.
Nobody hair and nobody hair.
Nobody hair.
Nobody here.
Nobody here wears anything because we all have
Yes,
more.
because we're all naked.
No,
We live in a
Excuse
nudist
you,
colony.
I'm wearing a
Yes.
Snuggie, so
that
shut
makes
up.
it better.
Well, are
it's
you
because,
wearing
like-
anything under the Snuggie?
Okay,
No,
no,
I-
enough.
Yeah.
Let me make my dumb joke so we can move on.
Then I guess I'm the only one that... Okay, never mind. So anyway, moving on.
Really podcast?
Oh, it's all like these pictures.
No. Anyway,
It's all because of
nobody
the webcam
here would wear
podcast.
these clothes because
Nobody can
Yeah.
wear these clothes.
I give.
That's why we don't do webcams ever.
You ruined it. I can't go on. I was gonna say we're more flab than ab. Okay, I'm done.
Well, maybe you guys are.
Yeah,
but-
listen, I don't know.
maybe
You
don't
can
for
speak for
yourself,
yourself, sir. Listen, I spend a good amount of time
Yeah, but you're short, so that
at the
negates it.
gym.
You've
What?
got the
I mean-
No,
hard
it
legs.
does not.
I love this. There's like a lot of
That's pretty prejudiced.
Is that
There's a lot of cool elements about this set. I like the dolphin, I like the lobster, I like the sandcastle, and the boombox. And oh yeah, there's minifigures too, and they're all right. None of the minifigures here particularly grip me, but
Yeah,
as a
okay.
pack,
I'm looking at them. The thing is that like they don't really have any normal clothing that I would use for anything.
Excuse
you know?
yourself.
The wife.
What do you
there's
mean
a
normal?
wife beater.
Oh, you beat your wife? Oh yeah, that would work.
What?
At least he has a wife. No, that doesn't actually save him in this case.
Yeah, that's
This is a family-friendly podcast.
Sure.
Yeah, it's so family friendly now.
Yeah, me and my wife and my 5 kids. Very, very friendly.
Anyway.
what else is Yeah, did anybody else buy anything? I know I didn't. I'm still on my no Lego set binge.
I got a keychain.
You call that a binge, huh?
Yep.
It's funny. I've been in a no Ferrari binge for like my entire life now. So I'm binging all sorts of
I
things.
did recently pick up a set, but not for myself. I got a set for my girlfriend, and it was the Batgirl. What's it called? Superhero high school. I forgot the name of the theme.
Was it like an actual set or like a polybag kind of a thing?
No, it was an actual set. It was the $25 Batgirl.
Was it with Catwoman?
Batgirl Jet set. Gosh, let me find this set.
Is there a Batgirl Jet set? Not the one that I know of.
Is this from the Lego Batman movie, then?
No.
That would explain it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm sorry, I'm just...
the Lego 2C Superhero Girls. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, the Superhero Girls one?
It's the Batgirl Air Jet Chase is what it is.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
Yeah, I thought I could remember the name of it, but whatever. Yeah.
Does she like the mini dolls?
She actually really likes it. Yeah, she does like the mini doll, but just because of the design, really. She loves the design. I don't think she would have minded if it was a minifigure either. But she said that this was probably the first Lego set in a long time that she actually like really wanted. I think it was just because of the figure.
It has a very unique design.
Well, she really she says the jet's really nice too.
We can't have her saying that. It goes against the narrative.
Yeah.
How dare she?
Indeed. Mini dolls are the scourge of the land.
Yeah.
I will...
Mini dolls are not that great.
Nope.
Nah.
But the set looks fun. It has a great look to it. Does anybody know, like, DC Superhero Girls, are they fighting sentient kryptonite? I know we talked about this before, but I think that's what it is.
I think they are. I have not watched the show, but I saw a commercial.
I think it's
I'm pretty sure they're fighting something.
I was wondering that for the longest time.
Yeah, the main enemy, I think, is like living evil kryptonite.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Supergirl is completely useless, I presume.
We're staring at that little thing, just wondering, what the heck is this?
Okay, yep, it's kryptomites.
Right. Oh, of course. No,
they
right.
fight the
No, here's another thing.
I forgot about the really popular characters, the Kryptomites from the DC
Look
comics.
at them, they're so lovable.
Past me.
Look at their little faces.
There's another thing about this set that perplexed us, and it was the premise. Like, I guess the conflict in the box is that the Kryptomite took Batgirl's little iPhone, and now she's trying to get it back.
Oh my gosh.
What? I mean, listen, if someone stole my phone, I'd definitely go after them in a jet.
No, I love that. Like,
obviously, you can't just go after them. You gotta get your jet first.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, these things look like they'd be the pets for Mixels.
They do. They look like Nixels, but good. That's exactly what they remind me of.
That's a bit of a stretch. Mixels were good.
No, I mean, not Mixels. Nixels.
Oh, Nixels.
The little mini, like, things they had.
Oh, the little mini things?
Oh, yeah,
you're right. I get that. No, yeah, totally. They have weird... These are little cute but weird expressionless monsters.
I'm just browsing the Superhero Girls website while this is a topic of conversation. I cannot believe that in the heroes section, the first person listed is Harley Quinn. Like, she's the main character. I will never get over that.
Listen, I'm sick and tired of Harley Quinn
and
being
she has,
like...
the blue and red hair. Harley Quinn is disorganized and unpredictable, but she's also fun, and even though her classmates don't always get her humor, she never stops trying out new material on them.
Haha, guys. Hey,
Like
look
murder.
at this cool joke where, I killed this person and cut him up and put him in a pie. Haha.
What
Funny.
the heck?
Just a prank, bro.
That's Harley Quinn.
No, I mean, like, what? Harley Quinn is a deranged maniac. I don't know why. I have nothing, against DC superhero girls. Like, that sounds like a really cool idea. I'm glad they're hitting that target market. Just like, why is Harley Quinn a hero? She, at no point has she, like, really been, like, the role model for little
Luthor's
girls.
sister is, like, the main villain, but Harley Quinn's, like, the main hero.
Right. Alexa Luthor, right?
Alexa Luthor, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right. It's just like come on, really? I'm gonna turn Lexi into that, but sure. Harley Quinn's a hero now because
doesn't make any sense.
Margaret Robbie played her in the movie.
Yeah, gotta get
I
that
don't know. Yeah, I'm just. Oh, it gets me.
Yep. So that tangent's over, but thanks for sharing the set.
Oh yeah, sure. You're welcome. I'm sure I did a lot for you today.
You did. You're a
No,
good
shut
friend.
up.
Man.
Gave us a little.
You showed up. You watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. earlier. You're a good friend, man. I appreciate you. All right. So, what do we want to open with?
Well, let's open with the first thing on our news docket, and we're gonna start off with some kind of minor news and work our way up from there. The first thing we're gonna talk about is Star Wars May the 4th promos. Essentially, May the 4th is an event, happens every year, where Star Wars will, they'll do a little promotion with Lego. Lego has a lot of stuff coming out. The big thing that's coming out is the VIP Early Access of the Snow Speeder, which is going to be the new UCS set.
Get hype, question mark.
VIP Early Access lasts from 29th April to 4th May. From what I hear, word on the AFLL street, apparently, is that it's not that impressive.
I love that street.
That I know, right? Like right next to Sesame, you go Sesame and AFLL Street. Honestly, that the Snow Speeder is iconic, I guess, but I really didn't see the need to make a UCS model of it. I felt like the normal Lego models I've gotten and built myself were perfectly fine. So I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. UCS has actually not been that great in terms of like reception recently. The Hoth one didn't do all too well either. That was released last year. So it's been kind of hit or miss, but mostly misses with the UCS sets for Star Wars recently.
There's been
I wouldn't necessarily. It's a little bit of a complex issue across the board because there was that, and then there was the UCS Death Star, and that wasn't so much a miss, so much as it was just controversial.
Yeah, it was like a. People wanted it.
It's like taking
the best.
For us, it's like taking the best Bionicle set and just releasing it again. It's like,
it's the best. It comes back.
It's the best at what it does, but come on, can't we get something new?
It would be like the thing would be if they re-released the best Bionicle set, but also made it $100 more expensive.
Yeah,
that would be one
thing.
People re-releasing that Star, no one would have minded.
Yeah, in cases where it's like, they're re-releasing a set that's no longer available, and that on paper alone is like, oh, okay, cool. If I didn't get it before, I'll get it now. But then, you could get it for $100 extra. I'm just like, oh no.
Right, and it was like, okay.
I love live studios. Live studios. I just said that. That's a new name.
Yes,
Call it that. The Live Studians. Remember, Scorpion Strike, his contribution, Ketar, UCS. And to you, sir, I say, no.
That's not Scorpion Strike, that's Willis.
Oh. Their names are confusing me.
Yeah, I know. It's not your fault. However, he is now dead to me.
His name is, just for the listeners know, Willis renamed himself Scorpion Strike. And I read it as Scorpion Strike because he tricked me. Was that the intention for you to confuse us?
You guys are monsters.
Boy. Well, you succeeded. Congratulations, Live Studios members. Anyway,
my gosh.
All right, moving on. Last Jedi set prices. We got the word on that. So
spoiler
obviously
alert,
for people who don't know, for whatever reason, you've been under this rock for the past couple months.
Probably living in California.
Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, was the trailer was revealed, everything's coming out for it, and we recently got the prices of the new Lego Star Wars sets. Like Meso said, they're expensive. I feel like they've done away with all the cheaper sets. They used to have the really cheap. I remember back in the day they had a $4 set and a $10 set, and then a $15 set and a $20 set.
The cheapest set listed here is $30.
cheapest set is $30. Then there's a $50 set, an $80, a $90, $110, $140, and $150.
Can I
all
say
in
how
US
weird
prices.
it is to see 140 and 150 as like price brackets? I feel that it does happen, but it's kind of rare. Kind of.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's kind of rare. I'm just excited, mostly because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, this is legitimately going to be like, there's going to be actual set pieces in this next Star Wars movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's no way that like they're upping the price to do all these like giant things. I'm super excited to see what they have in store and what this spells for the Last Jedi, because I feel like the Star Wars: The Force Awakens, a lot of people didn't like it. They felt it was a retread of the original Star Wars. And I feel like the Last Jedi is where they're gonna take the foundation they did with Episode 7 and go like, okay, now we're gonna do our own thing.
Definitely.
So all the stuff that's coming out here looks really cool. We also got prices for the buildable figures,
yes,
as well. The construction sets, which is the only avenue of construction's continuing in. So
I've written off
hats off to that.
The last couple waves of Star Wars sets for reasons that we've discussed, but this one does pique my interest because we're getting 4 Last Jedi themed sets. One's $20, 2 are $25, but a fourth is $35, which for those who do not know is the price that General Grievous was sold at. So with any luck, we'll be getting another Grievous quality figure to coincide.
That would be really cool. I don't know. Right now in Star Wars, I don't know of a character that is that massive.
Snoke.
So I'm interested to see. Snoke would not be... it's not the same type of character, though. You know what I'm saying? Snoke is projected large. He's not actually that huge, I don't think. But even if he was, that's still like just a dude sitting on a thing.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, like Grievous, for example, Grievous was a huge hulking
You're right, there aren't really any
mechanical
characters
figure.
to fit that archetype currently. Maybe they'll make one. Maybe it'll be a new character.
Maybe they'll make one. Yeah,
maybe there's a new character we just don't know yet.
Come on, guys. It's obvious what we're getting.
Finn makes himself a robot body.
It's
Jar Jar
Death Jar Jar.
We're gonna get no. We're gonna get a construction AT-AT.
AT-AT?
Yes.
Do you really not know what that is, Prpl?
It's the walkers.
I was trying to make a joke about AT, but like I don't think it works.
Nobody gets that because he hasn't been vocally on a
the walkers.
podcast. We can't get him.
Nobody gets that because nobody cares.
I would legit love like an AT-AT Technic Construction-esque vehicle like the Scout Trooper speeder bike. It just wouldn't be sold for $35.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see, I suppose. But I'm excited there is a figure to look forward to because most of them, Star Wars makes good sets from a construction standpoint. They're very well built. You know, they're solid. They're not interesting. They've all used the same color palette. They all use the same weird heads. They're all standard humanoid builds. Grievous and the speeder bike are the only ones to really like, and Darth Vader, I guess, but even he looked kind of weird, are the only ones to shake up the formula in substantial ways. And I'm glad to see that there might be a set to look forward to in that caliber. And Scorpion Strike, the actual Scorpion Strike, does say Construction Droidica, maybe. To which I would say yes, but this wave of sets will probably be for The Last Jedi rather than character throwbacks. So I don't see them releasing a Droidica.
That just sounds really random.
Yeah.
They've done a Technic Droidica before?
They have, and people
but that was during the prequel movies.
I totally get that because it feels random because they don't have any reason to do a prequel related thing.
Yeah, exactly.
In the new
the reason why
canon.
Star Wars has been having a problem where the line launched when they started making construction figures with 3 prequel characters and 3 modern characters, or like not modern, rather original trilogy characters, the characters that everybody loves, Luke, Darth Vader, etc. Then every subsequent wave so far after that has been movie tie-ins. It's only this year that we've gotten 2 sets which are not based on movie tie-ins, and that's the speeder bike and the Stormtrooper Commander. This wave will also be movie tie-ins. So when a point comes out that we actually have a Star Wars wave where they can do old characters again, they might well do another prequel and OT trilogy mix. But until then, nope. Not gonna happen.
I'm thinking. Nope. I'm still thinking about what it could be. Like one is probably gonna be Rey, and one's probably gonna be Luke. But what else?
I would say
what other?
Kylo, but like that'd be we just got him, and they're not gonna like change up his costume at all.
I don't know. Yeah, they're not gonna really change up anything about him.
It'll be Luke,
Rey, K2SO. I heard. Did someone here get that? Was that Var?
Var did.
Someone I know got the K2SO.
K2SO
was really good. So hopefully, whenever they do like the non-human looking figures, it's always way more well received.
Oh yeah,
for
but
the
that's
construction
basically that.
figures.
We'll be following Star Wars like a hawk because some of us still care about construction. At least
Not
going to
be following Star Wars like a hoth.
Okay.
Ratified.
Speaking
Good
of
one.
construction, and speaking of themes that were canceled after 2 years,
They're still
let's just jump
sour
right
about
into this.
Bionicle, guys.
Do we want to talk about one other thing beforehand? A little like segue from the TDB podcast.
Sure, go for it.
LJ,
Alright.
we spoke about something on the latest TDV episode, and we wanted to briefly touch upon it here because it's more topically relevant. Go ahead and give some context.
So on the TTV podcast, which you should also go and listen to, I had made mention that, well, I forget exactly what we were talking about, but I made mention that the story behind the LEGO Ghostbusters Firehouse headquarters was fascinating. Absolutely interesting. We were talking, that was it, LEGO ideas. So for those
we were talking
unaware,
about the possibility of because we're doing our BIONICLE reboot system pitch kind of thing. A fan asked, could you put a setup on ideas? And we were figuring out logistically, could we or couldn't we? And then that kind of launched into Elder discovering this. Go on.
Okay, so, as many of you may know, Ghostbusters, they have about roughly, I want to say 3 sets in total released. The first one was the Ecto 1, and that is currently an official LEGO set under Ideas. I don't think it's being sold anymore. However,
Ecto fun.
Yeah, it does exist.
No fun.
Yeah. Then there's the latest Ghostbusters, but in between those is the Firehouse, the HQ for the Ghostbusters. Well, the Ecto one was put on Ideas by a guy who really wanted to see everything Ghostbusters related be turned into Lego, and he initially pitched, from what I can tell, this. And this was the 30-year anniversary for Ghostbusters, and it had the Ecto one, it had the minifigures, and it had the entire Firehouse,
You
seemingly
have
in
some
Lego.
fond memories of this, don't you, Vin? Am I
Oh,
crazy?
yeah,
Did you
yeah.
build this at Brick Fair?
That was a thing, yeah.
Well,
That was
obviously
fun.
enough, it did end up becoming an official set, the Ecto one at the very least. Well, he had also pitched this. There we go. The Ghostbusters HQ. Now, this did not get approved. It got to 10,000, so it passed the supporters, but it didn't end up going through. Well, turns out they had made an official version of the LEGO Ghostbusters HQ.
Which
And-
we built.
The reason why there is some controversy surrounding this is because I'm going to go ahead and post a picture. Tell me which one is official and which one's fake.
Right, official? Question mark.
You're not sure, are you?
Nope.
Guys, anyone else? Anyone?
I'm
Right's
gonna
the
say
official.
the right's the official. I feel like the right is easily the official.
Easily. Okay, so you're very certain. Well, yes, right
And plus,
is
the right doesn't come with the car. Lol.
correct.
I guess you could say it was
Yeah.
the right answer, but anyway, go on.
Anyway,
You were
Oh,
too
dang.
excited for that.
Yeah,
So-
chill.
That was a little too much. You gotta chill with that. I'm not gonna say it was bad. I'm just saying a little, maybe way off the trigger,
So-
just a little bit.
the reason this is controversial is because they had denied him the clearance on the LEGO Ghostbusters HQ on Ideas. He had been flown out to Denmark, and he went there and he visited in order to discuss and go over and do kind of a publicity deal for the Ecto 1. They were already developing and designing the Ghostbusters HQ when he was there, and when his second project, was being cleared. He comes back, finds out about it. They didn't tell him at all. And the controversy is he feels slighted by them for not even telling him or letting him know, because he feels like they took his design and simply replicated it for an official set without giving him any heads up, any credit, any thanks. He wanted thanks in the instructions, nothing.
That
The
is
problem
tricky
with
business.
adaptions. The problem with adaptions is that there's only so much you can do with an adaptation. Right, I feel like I believe Lego in that they were probably designing something beforehand. That's why they credit him on the first one he did, right?
Of course.
So, and not on this one because they're already working on it. Well, if you give two people the idea and say, hey, do this house, do the Ghostbusters Firehouse, are going to come up with similar looking designs.
Because they're trying to replicate how it looks in an official medium, it might go in hand like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just imagine if we did with any other franchise. Like, think about, like, right now, you know, they did, what's something people are always telling them to do, you know? Just like in Star Wars, just say they had them replicate like a ship, like Poe's new X-wing. Let's say before that came out, someone said, "Hey, I want to do a set and
people
have
would
this
build
out."
it in line with how Lego designs their usual
because
ships.
it looks like the thing in the movie. So the Lego version is supposed to represent what looks in the movie. Of course, it's going to look similar because neither of them actually designed it.
Yeah,
the actual design was made by the people in the movie. They are trying to replicate that in the Lego. It's still a cool design, and it's still his. You know, I'm not saying that like he didn't have creativity with it, but like. Feeling slighted with that just feels a little like, okay, man, come on. They don't owe you that. You know, they have the Ghostbusters line. They made something related to Ghostbusters. It is a very
complex situation, though, when it comes to allowing Lego Ideas projects for already existing licenses. And like they mentioned specifically on this message they sent, that it's like when you make a project that's based on a current license that we already own, it's likely to be similar to concepts we're already making.
I don't think they allow that anymore because of that reason.
It's unintentional. Is that a thing? Is that currently allowed?
I'm pretty sure. I'm actually. I remember hearing there were changes to the Lego Ideas thing, and I think that was one of the new things that they added was that like you can't actually
well, let me see.
use existing themes. But double check for me before. Yeah.
I'll try to find it. Let me see. Go on, though, with the discussion.
Now, Lego did actually send him an official statement, and they completely understood where he was coming from. They did feel bad that they did not tell him. They said here, as we've already stated, the Firehouse headquarters was developed independently of any of the several Lego idea submissions that include the Ghostbusters Firehouse, as part of our ongoing relationship with Sony Pictures. Our Lego designers planned and created the set solely by referencing the Ghostbusters film and through collaboration with the studio. The Firehouse is a real building and an iconic object in the Ghostbusters films, so it is natural that our design would look similar to other models that also reference the films to recreate the same building as at similar scales.
Yeah.
Yada yada. Lego guidelines state...
Here's a better example. Let's say that as part of BrickFeed, we design a set, like a Kini Nui.
Yeah.
Right? And then we make that, and then Lego, just say that they also do BrickFeed. They do a system version of BIONICLE. They make their Kini Nui, and we're like, oh man, our feelings are hurt, Lego, because
that's our own BrickFeed we made that. Yeah, it's like, has shown.
Let's do it.
People have quite the diverse range of what they think Kini Nui should look like.
Oh yeah,
so that's fair.
That's true. I'm just saying that like it would look similar, and we could be like, oh wow, they stole our designs. No,
you're right.
No, they didn't do that.
It is complex because correct me if I'm wrong. The ideas for Ghostbusters came first. And then they made this official set afterwards?
It was, as far as I'm aware, the set was in being designed during the time that the Ideas project was being
Let me rephrase. The very, very first Ghostbusters set that was produced, I believe it was the car.
Yeah.
Whatever it was called. That was produced via Ideas before they acquired the license to make sets for the movie.
As far as I'm aware.
This is an interesting thing. It's kind of like Minecraft, and I can confirm that they have if this wasn't always how their rules are, it is right now. They say, do not base your project on a licensed property we currently sell, like Marvel, Star Wars, the Lego Batman movie, etc.
Right.
Or a property that entered our portfolio through a Lego Ideas set. So Minecraft, Doctor Who, Adventure Time. Basically, here's how it works. Lego got Minecraft because of an Ideas set. They then turned Minecraft into an original theme, so new Minecraft projects are not allowed on Lego Ideas because it's entered the roster through a thing. And that's kind of not in such concrete terms, but that's kind of what happened here.
That's exactly what happened.
Entered their portfolio
I bet you that's
through
why
Lego
they
Ideas.
put that in there.
They made an actual set, so they couldn't accept this guy's design because they were already working on an actual set. So it's very interesting, and it does mean that there will be no more like Doctor Who sets or Adventure Time or whatever unless Lego decides to make them. So that is.
Right. I feel like Lego is already paying attention to that behind the scenes. I feel like the Ghostbusters thing was like
it's a one-off
they already have the license.
And going forward, they're going to do better.
The hardest thing I feel for Lego is getting the license and seeing if it's worth pursuing a license.
Definitely.
Like once you get that license, and you're just like, okay, so what do we sell? What do we not sell?
You're basically just coasting to like make sets at that point.
Right. Yeah, I feel like that's a it's pretty decent.
It's very interesting. They go on to say, they state their policy, their guidelines. They apologize. They do regret it. Apparently, in an earlier message, they said they debated whether or not to share the news with him during his visit to Billund in June. However, we chose not to do so in accordance to our confidentiality policy. You're correct in noting that we could have employed an NDA, and we sincerely regret not making the extra effort to share the confidential news.
Well,
They ended up giving him the set for free to apologize.
then I suppose it all works out in the end.
So take that lesson, kids. If you whine enough about something,
Well,
You'll get a free set.
Lego.
You'll get a free Ghostbusters
No,
set.
he still goes on to say, I'm okay with the understanding of Lego and of course the gift. Nevertheless, it leaves a bitter taste when I look at both buildings next to each other and I see a lot of similarities.
Don't put them next to each other.
I'm just gonna
put them on like
maybe
opposite
I'm gonna
sides of
say
the
it.
house.
Maybe it's because they're based on the same thing, and that's why they look similar.
Put them
I
on
don't know why.
opposite sides of your house. Put one in the kitchen and one
like,
in the living room.
maybe no, to like swap them on displays like every other weekend. Like they're a kid in a divorce. It's like, okay, now is your weekend out on the on the display
great.
case.
All right, well, that is an interesting insight into how ideas works, and it is like with ideas and dimensions and licenses, it is tricky when it comes to like how things could tend to go, because a lot of sets have gotten rejected on ideas. Who knows why? Maybe because they have other plans.
It's certainly possible, but that is the fascinating story behind Ghostbusters.
Interesting. Well, all right. Now that we've talked a lot about licensed properties,
Oh my gosh.
let's talk about.
I
Legos.
had a great segue and everything, and then that
Sorry.
was cut. So, thanks, Meso. No, don't worry about it.
Go ahead.
The rumor is now on the street that Nexo Knights is being canceled, or that Nexo Knights is ending after 2 years. Now, the rumor has started floating around due to the latest issue of Blocks magazine. Now, for those of you who don't know, it's a actual print and digital magazine centered around Lego. It's made by fans, but they also have been known to have inside contacts with Lego. And
It's
in
like
fact, I don't.
Kanohi Journal if it still existed for anybody who
Yeah,
remembers
except
that.
if Kanohi Journal actually like
good
talked
and
to.
like actually did their magazine.
Ouch. Yeah, actually did their magazine. The thing about this is that like again, this is being picked up by several other like blogs, news blogs going around. Normally they don't report on like rumors or this kind of thing, but recently I feel like that's been changed a little bit. Sets like websites used to not report on like just baseless rumors like this, but Lego Dimensions recently we saw a whole deal with like that news floating around, making the news docket, and from all accounts it seems to be pretty accurate. Lego Dimensions is, as far as we know, ending, and we have pretty good reason to believe that based on testimony from other people, what's going down in TT Games, the sets themselves going on severe discounts in many stores around the US, etc., etc. And now Nexo Knights has been said to come to an early end as well. What do you guys think?
Nah.
I would say I wouldn't be surprised if it got canceled, because it didn't really strike me as like being like the next Ninjago, even though it has like its own TV show and all that. Because like I feel like most of like the Nexo Knight fandom, quote unquote, is just like Ninjago fans who decide to try it out.
I will agree with you there. From what I have seen, just perusing the Lego community on the internet, as I tend to do, immersing in discussions and stuff, following people's opinions, Chima got a significantly lower amount of hoopla than Ninjago did when it first came out. But it's still, it had a decent following. Nexo Knights seems, obviously, just from what I think, to have less of a dedicated following than even Chima. Because I wouldn't say this is the only reason, but there has always been that split because people are bitter that it was not an actual castle theme, and that it was like this hybrid futuristic tech with castle where like they have cool sets but everything is the glowing neon orange and like it just looks ugly and the color schemes are all messed up, and a lot of people have never truly gotten over that bias towards the theme.
Well, I wonder if there's another reason to it. Essentially, here's what I'm wondering, because we're talking about this, and we'll talk more about this over at the TTV podcast as well, because it does have relevance to our BIONICLE project. We're trying to pitch BIONICLE as, a system theme, having its own TV show. Was Ninjago a fluke? because it seems like every other TV show Lego's put out has not been met with the same kind of success. Hero Factory was met with never had an actual TV show in terms of thing, but those were like a bit more special focused. But died out after a bit. But after Ninjago did very well. Chima did good. I would say Nexo Knights has done good as well. I felt that the shows have been
quality.
Yeah, that's why I've heard. But if it's ending, if it's not really connecting well with kids, I will admit I really don't see any fan art or going down the Lego tag on Tumblr. I don't really see fan art. I don't really see like the fan base engaging with Nexo Knights as they do with Ninjago. Ninjago has so much, fan content out there for it.
Might be a fluke. It's difficult to measure that because I know a lot of people nowadays, at least me myself personally, has expressed the opinion when we talk about BIONICLE. Like, everyone was like, with G2, how can we replicate what happened with BIONICLE G1? How can we replicate that success again? And they really tried, and it didn't work out. And my personal opinion is that G1's initial success was a fluke. It was a mistake. And Eljay on the podcast was like, Minogue was a mistake, like as a joke. But I honestly, I do completely agree. From your tone was joking. Templars have admitted as much. Like, it was not the plan ever to do things that way in their blog entries. It just kind of fell out that way.
It happened. It was circumstantial. Yeah, I mean,
it was, and a lot of things with BIONICLE. I mean, obviously, I can't say for certain, but it very well could have been just accidents. Doing it at the right time in the right marketing with the right kind of style, so it gravitated towards kids. Ninjago is kind of similar, in my opinion.
I can say. Certainly, the only two themes off the top of my head that LEGO didn't accidentally go, oh no, evergreen themes. Well, you don't see these every day. Were City and Creator.
Yeah. It was a big shock when Ninjago was as popular as it was. Nobody really...
It really was.
People wrote it off from the moment it got announced as being canceled.
I remember writing it off.
Yeah, me too.
100%. I remember that.
I
was like, no,
it's quite similar to how people treat Nexo Knights, because with Nexo Knights, people are like, well, it's futuristic, it's not actually castle, everything looks awful, there's big, it's like, they call them the Jelly Bean Knights, so people say because they're brightly colored or whatever. And with Ninjago, it was exactly the same. It was like, we want an actual ninja theme. We don't want these spinning ninjas and spinning tops, spinning skeletons and motorcycles. What the heck is this? But it gravitated with people. And I don't know why.
Did Chima do 3 total years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Summer Wave was very small. It had 3 sets, but they did technically have 3 full years. Yes.
Now, let me double check that, but
it was 3
believe
years.
strongly it was 3.
It was.
I feel like, okay, so here's what I'm thinking when it comes to Nexo Knights. I felt that LEGO they tried to do a huge marketing push. Obviously enough, they got the con presence. I was there for that. I interviewed the creators of the show. I really had and like, we watched a couple episodes of the show when it came out too. I think part of the thing that really, with Nexo Knights, they pushed the really cool concept, I thought, with the having the knights like be power-ups that are represented in the video game. The flip side of that is that I don't know. I don't have statistics. I don't know how popular the game is. I don't know if that gimmick has caught on well with fans.
It has to be a really good game to make that catch on, because they're still promoting it that way. They're still they made packs this year consisting of nothing but shield pieces that you buy and you scan for the game and you can put on your figures. And I don't know, like, you have to have a really good product for people to want to buy
That's the thing. I played the game. It's not a terrible game, but nothing stood out to me about it either. It wasn't addicting to me. It wasn't one of those games that like kind of seizes you. Not like this last year was the year of a lot of like mobile games coming to prominence. Pokemon Go was a phenomenon to take it by storm. So I don't feel like, obviously enough, mobile games are not failing in any sense of the imagination. So I feel like it's part of the thing where the LEGO formula when it comes to video games, LEGO has a very distinct formula with their console games and with their mobile games too. Now, honestly, I feel like they have a formula as well. The formula is it's okay. It's good for like to keep kids' attention for a while, but I don't know how well it actually does in the long term, and I don't know if it's driving their line as well as they hoped. But it's interesting to me now that like LEGO they plan every line for 3 years, but there seems to be a trend where they're cutting off their story themes at 2 years if they feel like I'm assuming this is true. I'm assuming this rumor is true. So fair enough.
I don't believe the rumor at all. And this is kind of why when people say BIONICLE G1 failed, I don't think that's the case, because LEGO plans for 3 years. If a theme goes for 3 years, Okay, it fulfilled its requirement. Generation 1 of Bionicle ran for 10. That's not a failure, that's a success. Ninjago has run for, 7 now? 6? 7?
Yeah, and Ninjago's on track to never end.
Exactly.
Basically.
It's an evergreen theme now. So that's a success.
Woo.
It's more of a success than Bionicle.
I mean, sure,
Way
that's
more.
fine.
Yeah.
We can get into that later, but bottom line, it wasn't a failure. Generation 2 of Bionicle was a failure. Nexo Knights is rumored to be that way. A failure.
If a theme lasts for its full 3 years, it basically gets like a check mark in my book. Like it did its job. Like Chima,
Right.
You're
did
done.
its job okay.
I think,
Get
yeah.
shipped off. Now there's a couple things I want to say. Number one, I don't necessarily believe the rumor. It's Block's magazine. I do not frequent their magazine. I do not know if they have any credible source whatsoever to this. Kai, I know you bought the magazine.
Did
they say
buy
anything about a source at all?
They did not say anything about a source. They put it under the rumor mill
Okay.
section of their magazine. And to be fair, because I'm not a regular subscriber to the magazine, I cannot say if that's a regular thing they have or not. And I apologize now. I spent like $7 on
So
this
anybody
Digital Versions
listening to
magazine.
this,
I was going
take
to
it-
spend another $7 for like the just to see if this was a regular
Take it with a
segment they
grain
have.
of salt with this magazine because
100%.
it's one of the most I wouldn't say not credible. It's one of the most unknown possible sources for a rumor of this scope. But purely for discussion value, they say it's being canceled. But the second part, that I don't believe at all, the summer sets may not even be released. What kind of ridiculous, claim is that? Like, okay, can I see the sets not coming out in certain regions? Yes. And if that's what they meant, then sure, okay.
We've seen
Lego
that
does
before.
that all the time.
Well, Lego did that for Bionicle.
They did
And
that
they
for
did
Chima.
it with Chima. And
They did
the
that for
whole
Chima
last
too.
wave of Chima Ultra builds never saw a release in the States, and the last wave of Bionicle never saw a release in some other countries. So it would not surprise me if that was the case. But it just not getting released, period? No, they're not going to waste the sets they showed at Toy Fair. Just throw them out into the ether because it's not performing up to expectations. It's not going to happen. And then the second thing is, I don't know if it's just me, but I think the main reason why Nexo Knights never grabbed my attention, sets aren't great.
Yeah.
Like, the villain sets are awesome, but I can't think of a single other theme where I've written off the entirety of the good guys' vehicles, not because they're bad, but because they look uninteresting visually. They all look the same. What
That's
happened
racist.
to original color schemes? Why must we have the trans orange in every single set?
I'm trying to remember. Do you guys remember anything of the first wave of Ninjago? Was that worth?
Oh, yeah,
They had
absolutely.
color-coded vehicles and dragons and stuff. It did happen. They did not have a single unifying team color like Nexo Knights has.
That's true.
Yeah,
Now,
The thing is, I
sets
like
that-
it. I liked it, the unifying color in theory. That concept is not something I find.
I like it when it's
alien-
not monotonous,
or
I guess.
alienating. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like the colors they actually chose and how it's actually executed.
A lot of the
on
color
paper,
schemes
I
are
think it made a lot of
analogous,
sense.
and
But
it's-
Yeah.
It's really boring.
Like, I know
Yeah.
you've got a few of the sets, Eljay, and I know VAR has, and you both seem to like them okay from
Yeah.
a design perspective.
I mean, they function well. They're a lot of fun, and they
Yeah.
definitely look a lot better in person as opposed to on a box. And I
Definitely,
certainly think their
I
second
completely
wave
agree.
is a lot better than their debut.
I'll agree there. But for me, like, when I look at Nexo Knights, I've always been tempted to buy a set. I never have actually bought an actual
Yeah,
set.
none of them
one
have
Next.
really stuck out to
But
me either,
the
except
only
for maybe
ones
the
I've
four
ever been
tricks.
tempted to buy are the villain sets. And yes, the 4-Trex is the exception to that rule. Because it is a very well designed one. Never once have I been like, this is a cool looking hero vehicle that I kind of want to buy. Or whatever,
That's fair.
because they all look just lame. And when those are your protagonists, they're supposed to be the people who are like selling your theme. You're supposed to really be for the knights. You know, you gotta get all their stuff. That's not a good thing. Ninjago had like character from word go. The sets were not great by any stretch, especially not the dragons from the first year. You know, like, they were awful, really, design-wise. They've grown a lot since then, but they looked unique. You looked at Cole's dragon versus Jay's dragon, and they were definitely not the same thing.
Mine was better.
Buy those
Yeah.
and they had personality to them. If I look at Nexo Knights, they're not, the gap is not big enough. And that, I think, might be a possible reason why. Because Chima took that to the other end, and their vehicles were so distinct they had big animal head sculptures on every single one of their sets. You could tell what you were getting when you bought a Chima set.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was really cool, to be honest.
It was. Chima sets were really
That
cool.
was pretty cool too.
Sometimes.
The Chima sets were really cool, especially if you were into animals. Like, not that way, but
And
like
construction.
normally.
Wow.
But
Yes.
the story and
Family
the show
friendly.
was just mishandled, personally.
Yeah, it was. So what's the moral here?
The moral here is, what is the future of LEGO story themes? That's what I'm getting.
I mean, I don't think
Everything
Lego
outside of
story
Ninjago-
themes are going to be going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't think they're going to be going anywhere. I'm just saying that, like, it is interesting that the story's themes just seem not to be connecting with people.
I mean-
we know that for sure with Bionicle. We don't know that with Nexo Knights.
Bionicle, Hero
I'm
Factory,
one of the people that, like, I
Nexo
don't
Knights.
think what they're saying with the summer sets, I think is ridiculous. It's not too far-fetched for me that the Nexo Knights theme itself might be leaving. But to be fair, I would have said the same thing for Ninjago as well. I was outside of that fandom when it was still going.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't take this at face
I didn't
value
think
yet.
Ninjago would be like a thing. I can't take it either. I do
Definitely
feel
not.
like there is for this. I mean, the Blocks magazine has been around for a good while, and from the sites that were reporting on it, when Bricksa was talking about it. Well, they normally don't comment on rumors. They were, talking about how they felt there was some validity to it. I do feel like there is some validity to it, and I don't have a source for that. That's not like a, confirming or anything. There's a gut feeling I have with it where I'm like, some part of this is true. Maybe it'll last for its third year. I hope it does. Because I do like the story themes. I do like what they're doing with Nexo Knights, but I also can see how that might not work. And like going forward, I wonder, how LEGO is going to approach story themes in the future. If they
Basically, if
what
you're a
are they gonna
Nexo
do
Knights
differently?
fan, don't get too discouraged. Just ride it out and hope for your third year. We were overly optimistic for Bionicle due
We were.
to a lot of us. And I say that, like, kind of ironically, because some people might not apply the word overly optimistic to, like, the podcast discussions. But a lot of people took it for a given that it was going to get its 3 years and be so popular that it would get extended. And then it was a gradual slope of disappointment because it went to, all right, well, we'll probably just get our 3 years. And then, we might not even get our third year. So if you're a Nexo Knights fan who's really into the theme, don't really, my advice to you to avoid disappointment, don't have expectations for anything like.
And you know
Sure,
what? While
yeah.
you're at it,
Just
kids,
enjoy
don't have
the sets.
ambitions.
just stop hoping,
Don't-
kids.
don't-
just throw away your hope.
Dreaming, get
Enjoy
rid of
that.
that. It's a distraction.
Right.
Enjoy
Just
the
dream in
sets,
black.
Watch the show, unlike us. Actually, watch the show and enjoy the theme, and
Just
don't
stop
worry
breathing
too much.
while you're at
Just
it.
watch the back of your eyelids.
Just you know what? Just close your eyes, hold your breath, and you'll be dead. That's it. That's how death works, kids.
I was trying to be positive.
You just stop breathing.
I'm positive that you're negative. Haha.
just like the stuff. That was the moral. And just remember that if you're worried about Nexo Knights,
You're not getting the second spot or the top spot for 2017's top moments, Meso.
If you're worried
Beautiful
about
speech.
Nexo Knights'
Beautiful
third
speech.
year not getting released, just remember that this was a set from Chima's third year, and it got released. So anything's possible.
oh man, good grief.
Man, okay, honestly, like legitimately, that set, looking at it, it's unbearable.
Oh, shut off.
Nice save.
I always wanted to get that set because it looked like one of the worst models I had ever seen to
What
be
is it
produced
with you
by
and
Lego.
trash?
And I
like
just
a
thought it would be
06
interesting
fan
to
thing.
have.
I love how you're like, well, yeah, there's some good sets out there, but man, I gotta get the worst model
Look,
I've ever seen.
wouldn't that be cool to have, like, as a novelty?
No.
The gappy wheel bear?
Not even as a novelty.
It's so interesting to me.
Why is that more interesting than Qatar, huh? Qatar sucked.
Yeah, but not in a funny way. He was just awful.
Not in a funny way.
That dude's like the gappy bear mech, like with the
In
wheels. on
Meso's
his
defense,
torso.
sucking in a funny way is kind of the whole point of this podcast. This entire channel is just sucking in a funny way. So
Comedy
fair
is like
enough.
that sometimes. You gotta be funny.
Right.
You gotta, like,
You gotta
get
be
jokes.
funny. We're all just bears with holes and giant wheels in them. And that's the life lesson to take
There's
away
a
from
Twitter
these kids.
quote. We're all just bears.
Suck in a funny way. A Messinac 2017.
I didn't say that. Anyway,
Well,
that's
now
all,
you did.
That's all, folks. That's all I got.
Nice. Now I gotta do something to make sure certifiably you don't get number one in our
That was a
on the
good- that was
TDB
a
message
good
boards
speech.
top
I was
10
trying to
moments on the
time it.
TDB channel in 2017.
Yeah, go submit stuff whenever you have a funny moment. It's on the boards. So,
At board.tvchannel.com.
I wasn't trying to get a speech.
Join that community.
If I wanted to get a speech and give some inspirational message about how, like, Yeah.
About what? About what to who, Meso? What speech would you give, and who would you give it to? Would it be about Bionicle again?
Fans?
Would it be about how the fans need to carry the torch for Bionicle, so that maybe they can keep it alive one more time, so Bionicle will come back one more time, so it'll fail. Maybe it won't even make it to 2 years. Maybe it'll make it 1.5. Maybe it'll make it just 1. Maybe it just won't ever come back because the fans are not going to be able to bring it back ever.
Shut up.
Okay.
You will never hear
Rein
me
it in.
campaigning to keep Bionicle alive so LEGO will bring it back. That's the antithesis to my message.
Just wait until your hopes get up, buddy. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
What?
Season 5.
What hope? Oh, low blow. Get out of here. Rein us in.
All right, I'm gonna pull this to a close. Thanks for joining the BrickFeed podcast, where we talk about LEGO each and every week. If you like this podcast, subscribe to our channel. YouTube.com/TTV channel.
Sometimes we'll like show off some cool random mocks.
Sometimes
like the one that I just did.
Sometimes we show art.
Is that
quote unquote art?
Is that the Giga helicopter Kaita?
Yeah, originally I was gonna come up with something that looked ridiculous, but then this started happening.
Well, here's what I'll say about that mock. It looks better than the actual chopper.
Well, thanks, man.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Now that's a Krongy Wongy.
Oh,
gosh. 1215.
Oh, what happened to that? Did that just stop?
It was one of the most bizarre marketing
That was a
strategies
really
ever, so
weird marketing
it
thing
stopped.
LEGO did. I would love this be like a fly on the wall for those meetings where it's like, no, listen, guys, what if we called the mock something like Krongy Wongy?
Or
that
what
would
if
get
we
kids.
do a contest where people take photos of trash cans to win solid gold?
How dare you? You didn't need to bring
It's
that back
literally a
up again.
rags to riches story.
Nice.
That makes me so mad every
man.
time I hear about it.
Yep, you could have done that all day. You could have gotten the gold.
Literally
era.
could have walked outside, taken a picture of my stupid trash can, and been like, see? Look, it's the Bionicle fan base.
Yep.
It's a trash can of victory, guys.
I called it that.
Trash can of victory.
All right. Well, if you want more of our stuff, you can go to our YouTube channel or go to our Patreon, patreon.com/TTV channel. You can subscribe, be a part of our live studio audience, get our audio 48 hours early, and, be in our videos as part of the live engaging audience we talk back and forth with on a regular basis. We do after shows. We do a lot of cool stuff on here, so you should totally do it if you're a fan of this channel and want to support us. And if you want to just join our community, board.ttvchannel.com. It's a really active LEGO-based community about really anything you can think of. Right now,
we're pretty neat.
The main thing that we're
we're
having a lot of great fan art regarding our Bionicle projects. So if you're a fan of just LEGO in general, or if you like Bionicle, totally something to check out. We will see you next week. Thanks for joining for the 50th episode of the TTV.
Can confirm was
BrickFeed
better
podcast.
than TTV 50.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yay.
I would hope
I don't know, I
so.
still
That's a pretty low bar.
I still like TTV 100 way more.
Oh,
that's
TTV
a
100.
classic.
That's a
Of course it
classic.
is.
That's a different one entirely.
What
that
even
one is
happened in that one?
Sarah McLachlan
That's the one where
is
we
my
had
hero.
everyone on. Literally everyone.
We did not have
and then
literally
we talked
everyone
about.
on, but we had an awesome ad lib.
Everybody from that current era.
Yeah, from that current era.
I don't
I'm
think
pretty
so.
sure we had everyone on.
That was the one where, Vin, you made your epic, rap or song or whatever, IVZP.
Oh.
That's also when we talked
now.
all about the history of TTV. We went through our entire history.
Didn't we also
and
do
everything.
that crazy ad
And
lib
we
during
also
it?
announced he was leaving.
Yep, that was the ad.
Awesome, and Kahi left
No, there's a
halfway
lot of
through
great
it.
stuff in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scorpion Strike said TTV 50 sucked in a funny way. Thanks, man. That's all we can hope for here
Phenomenal.
at the TTV channel. We'll see you guys next week. I'm Jonathan Juan.
I'm Meso Neck.
I'm Eljay, and I'm not falling for it again.
I'm Ben Nathan Vaughn.
Perfect name.
And I'm Prpl Dragon.
Kill me.
And now it was only LJ who didn't do it.
Let me die.
And this was the TTV BrickFeed podcast. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
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 Die.
Wow. No, don't do that.
Not them, me.
Live.